Question 12 is obviously more about polynomials, about remainder theorem, about factor theorem, or solving cubic the power of 3 equations here. And then they say that a and b is a constant is given that x minus 3 is a factor. That means when fx divided by x minus 3, then the remainder equal to 0. And the remainder, we can use the remainder theorem. We know that it's put a suitable x, which is 3, because 3 can make the divisor become 0. So that's imply f3 is equal to 0. But you are form 6 already, so you should notice that it's given f3 is equal to 0 directly. You should write that down directly. And then after that, they give you the second sentence. When it is divided by another thing, then the remainder is this item. So you just write it down again. When fx divided by x plus 2, then the remainder is equal to something like 2b plus 165. Again, we use a remainder theorem. The remainder in this case, that means put a suitable x, which is -2. So that means we know that f -2 is equal to b plus 165. We are going to continue to divide these two given information, then this gives you two equations. Then of course you can solve two unknown from two equations. So f3 is equal to, some of you may try to expand it, but it's totally unnecessary, because if you substitute a certain value of x, then it's easier for you to calculate here. So let's see what will happen. 4 bracket something and then something plus 1 square plus a something plus b. Is equal to 0. So which is 3. 4 times 3 give us 12, and then 4 square. Don't be aggressive. Just try to simplify each part, small part. 12 times 16. So 3a plus b. 12 times 16. 192. So 3a plus b is equal to -192. We simplify it like how many a plus how many b equal to how many is our standard format. So another part now, the second part, we are going to do similar thing. 4 something and then something plus 1 square plus 2 something plus b a something 2b plus 165. So we put -2 inside. Again, very careful when you're simplifying. It's -8. This is -1 square minus 2a. -8 times 1. -2a first plus b. We group all b together minus b. 165 plus 8. So we got -2a minus b equal to 173. We got this two equation, then we can simultaneous equation. 3 plus b -192. So we find out that plus b and minus b, if we add them together, it will finally become 0. So we are going to do that. We add them together. 3a plus -2a is equal to -192 plus 173. So b is equal to -192 minus 3 times -19. -135 is B. We already solved A, and then now we are going to solve part B. Someone claimed that the equation fx equals 0. So this time we are solving fx equals 0. Sometime maybe we solving fx equal to some other thing. So we are going to solve fx equal to 0. Fx, and then later on we are going to use the information that we have to express it. And then it's 4x plus 1 square plus ax plus b. But we already know what is a, so we replace by what we know. It's minus 19x. And then we also know what is b, so we replace it by our answer, -135. If we observe this equation, we find that x times x squared. So finally it will come as something like how many x power 3, how many x power 2, how many x. And then the only method to solve this cubic polynomial is using factorization. That means our target is write down in form of something like this. Something times something equal to 0. So we can say something equal to 0 or another factor equal to 0. That's our strategy. Before we do so, we must change this form, expand it to our standard form methods. So expand it very carefully. For x times x squared plus 2. So minus 19x x power 3 plus 8x squared minus 15x minus 135 0. So still remember our strategy. We are going to factorize it, and usually the question give us some hints how we can factorize it. They say x minus 3 is a factor. So what we are going to do is perform the long division. Oops, I'll draft. Don't write it on your exam paper. So 4, 8, -15, -135. Ensure there is no space. X minus 3, so 4. No remainder, that means this is correct. So our quotient is x squared, 4x squared, positive 20x, and 45. So this is x minus 3, 4x squared plus 20x plus 45. Since it's given that this one must be the factor, so if you find that there is some remainder, that means you have to recalculate it. Maybe there is some mistake you have made. But if you can't find out the mistake, just keep your answer in this format and simply write some rubbish here in order to show your marker that you know how to solve this one. You just make some careless mistake. So continue. X minus 3 equals 0, or 4x squared plus 20x plus 45 equals 0. So one of the roots of this equation is 3. But we need to show that is there any irrational roots here. So we have to continue this part. Continue. And then from this step, 4x squared plus 20x plus 4 equals 0. Since you need 45. Since you need to show me that it is irrational, so you better use the short form to show me. Even if you use calculator, it gives you very long decimal places. You can't prove that it's irrational. Maybe it's finally stopped. So you can't avoid to use the quadratic formula, -b positive negative square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. You can't avoid to use this. So in this case, this is -20. and then you find it's negative 20, positive negative, okay, negative 320. Alright, the existence of negative inside the third form, inside the square root, that means this is not real root. So there is no real root here. That means for fx equal to 0 has only one real root, which is equal to 3. Is there any irrational root? The fact is we don't have any irrational roots, so that's why no, do not agree. Since one of the roots is rational and another two roots are not real roots, so do not agree. There is no irrational root. That's all for this question.